This is Spencer Chiak. You're listening to KEDT 90.3. I'm joined now by Dr. Cathy McAuliffe. She's running for Texas State House, District 32. Doctor, thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
This is your first time on the ticket. What's that been like?
It's been eye-opening. I never thought I would ever run for public office, but with some of the events that have happened in the past few years, I thought, it's not enough to donate. It's not enough to vote. I have to do more. And so this is what I'm doing. I'm running against a man who was unopposed. So I thought, okay, this is the slot for me.
Yes, Todd Hunter has represented District 32 since 2009. What's that like going up against someone so established?
It's tough. It's tough. I mean, he's got the money. He's got the backing. He's got the donors. He used to be a Democrat, and he's still friends with a lot of people who are Democrats. And so what I have been trying to do is just talking about his voting record and how I would vote differently.
What are some examples of that?
Vouchers, school vouchers. I'm opposed to school vouchers. I want public tax dollars to stay in the public school system. I think that there are rumors that some people are being told that the rural districts will have a cutout, but I don't believe that that's true. I think it would affect all schools negatively. SB 8, the abortion ban after the age, it's not even an age, after 6 weeks, which is really more like 4 weeks for most women, I think it's dangerous. I don't think we have the statistics out on it yet, but we know that infant mortality has gone up, and we know that maternal mortality has gone up since that bill was passed. And so I would never have voted for that. The Blue Tarp Law, I don't know if you know what that is. It's a law, I believe it was passed in 2017. Mr. Hunter voted on the side of the insurance companies for that law. And what it does is enables insurance companies to delay or deny claims after something like Harvey.
Insurance, something certainly on a lot of people's mind. TWIA, with a 10% rate hike expected. What do you think the answer is to keeping these rate hikes from happening?
Well, one of the issues is that we are the only part of Texas that has a carve-out for windstorm insurance. Other parts of the state, for instance, northwest, where there are a lot of tornadoes, predictably, their windstorm insurance is in their regular insurance. So there's a bigger pot of money. When TWIA was created, Houston was actually included in it, but they were allowed to opt out, which means that some of the wealthier homeowners are not part of the pot. So we end up paying more for insurance. The truth is, if another Harvey came along, look what's happening in Florida right now. If that happened to us, we want the insurance to be there. We need that coverage. So there has to be another solution other than putting it on the backs of the homeowners, because taxes are going up too, and so homeowners are being hit.
Do you think there should be any changes or regulations made to the private sector to also offer coastal insurance as well?
Yes. If our windstorm insurance could be like everyone else in Texas, we would be better off. We really would be. And I know that a lot of my opponents' donors are insurance companies.
On to education, certainly a big topic in this upcoming year. What would you like to see Texas do, and what would you do should you win this November?
Well, I am a college professor. I'm retired. I taught at San Antonio College for 27 years, and my field is early childhood. So I understand on a very deep level the need to invest in the early years because the rate of return is incredible. It's like up to $14 for every dollar you invest in early childhood. And I was just at a meeting with some of the candidates for the CCISD election that's coming up, and they were talking about some of their frustrations with the things that are going on in education. And I spoke up and said, we need legislators like me who really understand early childhood, education, higher education, public education, and understand teachers, and understand children, and understand families, so that we could work together. The legislators and the school districts could work together instead of almost be in opposition. I've been to some of the school board meetings where I live in Rockport, which is the Rockport-Fulton Independent School District. And, one of the things they talk about is the mandates that come down from Austin that are just not appropriate, especially for the younger children, the little ones.
You mentioned the trickle down from the federal to the state level. Operation Lone Star has been controversial. What should Texas's role be at the border?
Well, I think one of the first things I would do when elected is find a mentor, since I've not done this before, but find people who will mentor me. And then also find those people who maybe are on the opposite side of the aisle who can and will compromise, because that's the name of the game. I lived in rural Virginia for many years. My dad taught at American University, and I was very aware as a child that the Republicans and the Democrats, they fought on the floor of the Senate, or they fought on the floor of the House, but then they went out and had dinner together. They went out and had a drink together, and their kids played together. That's the way it used to be. And I think that's the way we need to get back to that, where we don't demonize each other, we don't hate each other, we agree that we care about education. What we disagree on is how we're going to get there. We agree that family is important. What we disagree on is what do we do to support families. So I'm all for collaboration and compromise and working together.
For people who have been happy with the representation of Todd Hunter, what would you say to someone to get them to decide the moment for change is now?
I think we are in a moment of change. There's kind of a groundswell, it seems to me, of voters who are saying we're in a crisis situation. I wouldn't say so much at our level, but at the federal level. And I think that is going to trickle down. I was at a meet and greet last week, and I realized that there are some voters I'm never, ever going to change their mind. They would never, ever vote for me, and I respect that. This is the United States of America. You get to vote for whom you want to vote. But as a woman, I believe we need more women in the legislature. As an educator, I believe we need more educators in the legislature. And I represent those two groups of people right there.
You mentioned the trickle down from the federal to the state level. Operation Lone Star certainly has been gathering headlines and how it's operated. If you're in the chair and you're given this opportunity, what do you think Texas's role in the border is versus the federal government?
Well, the federal government is in charge of the border. The federal government is in charge of immigration. So we need to abide by the Constitution and the laws of the United States of America. That doesn't mean we can't provide support for Border Patrol, all the people who work along the border, who care about the border, who live along the border. We need to listen to those voices and let them tell us what we need to do as legislators. I also think we need to be very cognizant about why people are leaving those countries. Nicaragua, Honduras, San Salvador, why are they leaving? Why are they making that trek? Bringing their children across, all that territory. Dangerous. And really, I don't think it's a yes or no, this or that issue. I think it's very complicated, and it takes a very complicated response. And again, I'm aware that I'm not giving you a this is what I'll do answer, because I think that I need to listen to other people, collaborate, and work with other people and figure out what is the best thing. But I really do believe we need to leave what's federal, and do what we can do at the state level.
Final topic, water impacting all of Corpus Christi, currently in drought restrictions. As someone who could be representing Corpus Christi at the state level, what are your thoughts on something like the desalination plant and getting funding for that?
Desal does not belong in the bay. Desal is going to kill the bay. Desal belongs on the ocean. Even the Gulf would be better because there's going to be more flow, and so that, the stuff that comes out of the desal would be moved, more than it would be where they're planning on putting it. So I'm not for desal. And I think it's almost criminal that when Corpus Christi citizens are under drought restrictions, the water restrictions, water use restrictions, that the businesses aren't, or they're only fined a small amount compared to what a homeowner or family would be fined if they exceed what the water usage is supposed to be. So I'm not a desal fan.
Do you have an idea of an alternative plan?
Move it to where it would be better and safer, and I think the city of Corpus Christi needs to be a little more cognizant about the impact that some of the business deals they make have on the average citizen. The people who live in Corpus Christi deserve good water, safe water, good air. The ammonia plant that's being planned, I believe it's in Portland or Ingleside by the Bay. I'm not remembering right now. But, that would, if there were an accident, that would affect everyone. Boom. And the air would be unbreathable. So I'm pro-business because we need business, we need jobs, people need to work, but I don't think we should be so pro-business that we hurt the citizens of Corpus Christi or any citizens in District 32.
Dr. McAuliffe, thank you so much for your time. Has there been anything we haven't discussed that you were hoping to today?
I think the last thing I would like to say is that I believe we need to trust women when it comes to their health decisions, and we need to do something about what's going on right now in terms of men specifically and the government telling women what they can and cannot do when their doctors are telling them this woman needs help.
Dr. McAuliffe, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
This has been a KEDT Election Coverage Special. Tune in to the KEDT 90.3 FM Mayoral Roundtable on October 30th at 9 a.m. and follow us on social media at YourKEDT on Facebook, Instagram, and X.